Hi, everyone. My name is Kaylee, and I am the energy behind A Divine Dream. So, if you want to check out my website, adivinedream.com, please go ahead. I am an ascension coach and guide. What does that mean? That means that I help people who are moving through their spiritual awakening become more conscious, focused creators so that they can live their heaven on earth realities. There's a lot that kind of goes into that, and everybody's experience and needs are different. So everybody I work with is always so different. So that's kind of a little bit about what I do. Lately, though, what's been kind of unfolding is working with people to understand and comprehend how energy functions, especially more of that somatic energy. Like, what does it feel like to be living as this higher dimensional human, this more multi-dimensional human, allowing ourselves to understand how our energy functions doesn't only help us create the realities that we want to live and experience, to build that momentum into that reality that we want to live and experience, but it also helps as our consciousness is shifting and we start to feel a little like what's going on, right? You start having these interesting expansions of sensory experiences, and you start to notice like, ooh, I'm feeling things that perhaps I didn't really understand or know that I could feel before. Or maybe you're having experiences already and you're kind of like, what's going on? Why am I feeling as though reality isn't exactly what I thought it was? Because it's not. So, yeah, that's what I do. And I love working with souls who are really ready to step into that sovereignty and that empowerment. So, if you're one of those people, hi, welcome to my channel. And I just hope that I can offer information and perspective that can possibly help you become more clear and become more soulfully embodied and heart-centered too. It's a wild journey. I'm sure if you're already experiencing these things, you're like, yeah, I know, because it can be such a pendulum swing of highs and lows, but when you become more conscious and more focused and you start to get a handle on how energy functions, there's not as many highs and lows. You start to create into your reality in such a way that life is actually easier. It can be easier. It can be more joyful. It can be more pleasurable, more beautiful and peaceful. And you get to create into that. You get to build the momentum in your life and the foundation in your consciousness that creates that heaven on earth reality experience. And it's here for us. It's already here. It's just a frequency to tap into and then embody. And then, of course, look at all of the bull crap in our lives that aren't isn't necessarily serving us and isn't necessarily what we want to experience anymore. Whatever you are experiencing, whatever you have experienced is perfect. It may have been really challenging, and we really need to hold ourselves in so much love, blah, 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 peace and presence, because some of the things that we can experience on this plane, this earth experience, as you know, are they're very challenging. So that's why becoming a more conscious focused creator is very valuable. And that is something that I've been cultivating in my own awareness, and that is what I love helping others do. So today I kind of wanted to just introduce myself and say, hi, welcome to my little corner of the internets and my beautiful expression. It's taken me a lot to get here, but I'm so grateful to be here. And yeah. Hey everyone, thank you so much. Just hang on a second while I refocus and center. This is my first YouTube video, so I really appreciate your patience. And if you need a second to breathe and recenter as well, here's your permission slip. So, what I really wanted to talk about as well today was this concept of light language. I've had a couple people reach out to me because I speak light language on my Instagram, and just I speak light language, I paint light language, I write light language, and it's just really easy and natural if you can't tell. It's like it's a part of my expression. And I've been noticing that more people are coming online within that, within themselves, and which is so cool. Some of the questions that I've been getting is how do I become more comfortable with this energy in myself and how do I begin to express it? So I've created, I call it, what do I call it? I just created it today. So hold on a second. The Light Language Soul Sessions. So basically, what it is that I am offering for people now is to have two sessions, one to activate and kind of clear and release any blocks that are getting in the way of that soul expression. And then the second session is a follow up to either continue to play in that expression or to release any further blocks that are coming through. Because sometimes you can get off a coaching session and feel so good, and then you get into your life and you're like, yeah, this is still here. And so I really felt like the two sessions was a perfect package to help anybody who's feeling called to activate their light language. So if you're feeling that one-on-one interaction, come on in. Go to my website. I'll leave the link down here below as well, so you can take a look at that. But really, when we're opening up to that soul expression, the light language, one of the first things that comes through is like, oh my gosh, am I just making this up? It feels like I'm just a sim and I'm just speaking gobbledygook, right? It's just like this is nonsense. Or maybe you've heard other people speak light language and you realize when you're starting to speak it, you're not sure if you're speaking your own unique expression or if you're just copying. And those are kind of the places that people tend to get hitched up on when they're starting to play with this. And I was working with a client, and he was saying something along the lines of, if this is a language, of course we would kind of be expressing something similar. If we're tapping into something from other lives, which it can be. But of course, there'd be similarities if we're bringing through something that has a root to it in the soul, in the memory of the soul. So it's so interesting because there's so many different kinds of light language, and I kind of speak a couple. They just kind of come through, and I'll share a little bit too. That'll be fun. I do these energy attunements as well, and they're a unique frequency transmission, and a lot of light language comes through for those. And I notice that when I'm working with different people, different light languages will come through. So there's probably I can identify at least five that I've kind of brought through that have come through my channel. Sha, they have come through me. I have expressed them through my voice and my mouth. So there's about five and that I can kind of identify. So there's so many. And also, it really is just anchored in your soul's unique frequency. And there's a lot of different ways to express this as well. Like I said before, you can write it, you can speak it, you can dance it, I paint it, there's really no wrong way to do this. But if you're getting stuck in your mind, you're blocking that flow, right? So that's like what we're breaking down. We're breaking down those barriers. We're offering ourselves so much love because we do live in a time where there's so much weight on proof. I need to have proof that this is a real thing. But a lot of things are made up. Most things are made up. Even language is made up. So, light language is just another one of those things that we can add to the made up list. But it does have energy behind it, frequency, and intention. So when we're speaking light language, or that's kind of coming online within us, sometimes you might find that it's very natural and you're by yourself and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, this kind of wants to come through and be expressed. Ooh, yes, yeah, no more, sí, sí, yeah. And for me, that feeling is it just kind of like rises either like up or like down through, and it's just this natural frequency, and it's like this wave of frequency that my voice naturally wants to ride on and naturally wants to bring body to, bring a vibrational expression to. So, and that's even how the hands start to flow. It almost feels like riding a frequency wave. And I was expressing that to someone recently too. It's just like it feels like this wave of energy can that's kind of coming through. So that's why like hand movements also are a part of that expression. Again, the art, you might even see it online. A lot of people are creating light language art. And it's just this encoded frequency of just pure expression. It it's so natural for us. So even if you're just expressing, there it is. That's the language of your soul coming through. When it comes more to the language piece, it can be from other lives. So the way that I look at this, and this is just one perspective, take it or leave it, or maybe you've heard another way of understanding it, but there's the oversoul, which is more of that multi-dimensional pool of all of your lives that you are experiencing in this multi-dimensional infinite universe that is just continually expanding and expressing. So there's the multi-dimensional oversoul energy, and I even associate that with the Akashic records of the soul. So that's kind of like the oversoul energy. Again, my perspective, take it or leave it, or figure it out for yourself. Go in and define it and design it for yourself. As long like you might be picking up on what I'm laying down. So there's the oversoul energy, there's the higher self, which is the highest emanating expression of this soul and this specific soul embodiment. So that's like my highest expression of this Kaylee light that's coming through in this life. And that's the higher self. And then you have your human personality, like the really fun, playful mix of all those things, and the more human aspect that's kind of been experienced and you've been living through it. It's the more 3D, physical, more dense, slower in time. We get to play, mold in the clay energy. So our higher self connected to the oversoul, directly connected to source. We're all connected, it's all one. That oversoul energy houses the information that you're streaming through for those other lifetime experiences of light language that is possibly what you're channeling as well. So it's a part of you. It's just that direct connection to, oh, my life is an angelic being, my life is a fairy being. Like, can you tell those are the two that like I like to plan a little bit, so those are the ones that came to me first. But Arcturian, Pleiades, Syrian, and maybe an inner earth life for a couple hundred, I don't know. There's I feel like I was a raptor dinosaur once. um Take it or leave it, but that one I was like, that was a fun life, a little bit more, but we have so many different expressions that come through. So that oversoul energy, those other kind of like language, the light language that comes through that sounds like different languages, are most likely from that oversoul energy where you've lived a life that spoke that or spoke similarly to that. So for example, I'll kind of try and speak like one or two here. there's like okay, this used to be is or shumni shitiki or city shitki budu kushin kit lebo like a shitiki is no bull shitki mo like a shitiki shitki is the horse shitki ujubu. So there's that, and then another one that can come through for me quite easily is like os o si national wanaki anasana shomola ni sikit oala ko eso shinmona la casa shinoele ki sitko ala ka shomola ka le so shiri si la moalo. And oftentimes I tend to blend them all together. And then when I'm in my Kaylee expression, just like around the house and stuff, like those things just come out naturally, where I'm kind of just like, so if seeing me like this on the internet helps you express a little bit more freely, that's my goal because mom, dad, yeah, I'm this strange. In all seriousness though, the your soul's light wants to express and wants to come through. And if speaking and expressing in new ways like that, in ways that don't necessarily have a logical backing yet to this human experience, like let yourself have that. Let yourself know that there is a power and a potency there, especially when you start to play with it and then you allow yourself to set the intention and you feel the difference between just babbling, which is a great way to start playing with light language because you're just getting comfortable again with there are no rules. Let me just express and play. What does this feel like coming out from my voice? So playing with that and then setting the intention, grounding that energy that you want to express, or maybe you're feeling just that channel come through and it really just wants to move through you. You feel it, you feel it, you feel it. There's something to it. So I hope this was helpful. I kind of bounced around a lot. This is my first YouTube video, so woo! I'm going to just keep growing and hopefully get better at expressing more clearly and concisely so that you guys can have something to ping back on your journey. You know, have that like that mirrored reflection of like, okay, she's doing this, she's saying this, she's expressing this way. How do I feel in my body about this? How do I feel? Okay, do I have a trigger? All right, let's, kind of like look at that. What do I think about this? What do I believe about this that could possibly be true? Um, or maybe not so true. Do I want to continue to keep this belief? Do I want to shift this? What feels closer to truth for me at this moment? What feels more like love? What feels more like openness, expression, expansion? And also, you'll notice too when you are expanding and expressing, if you're uncomfortable, that's okay. Lean into that. There's a difference between like a no, like, that is not for me, versus, ooh, this makes me uncomfortable. I need to examine this because I kind of want what's on the other side of this. So moving through that uncomfortability, especially because the only thing that's gonna be happening, and it's always been happening, but if you needed somebody to say it, is change. Change is happening, and it's just gonna keep on going. We are in a time of acceleration, and hang on for the ride. So, but that's why I really felt called to just start doing this and just to share and express and help people who want to become more conscious, focused creators so they can live their heaven on earth reality in this life. It's possible for us. We're creating this. And the first step, if you've watched all the way here, is to start speaking your light language. Just play with it. Also, I have to say that someone who's really helped me feel more comfortable in my own expression with light language is activation vibration. And I can probably already assume that if you're watching this, you've seen her stuff already. But if you haven't, I highly recommend checking her stuff out. She also has like a master class and a course that you can take as well. So if you feel called to her, highly recommend checking out her stuff. But if you're looking for like some one-on-one interaction to really kind of get in there and be like, let's dig this out. Hi, it's what I do. So it's been wonderful chatting. I'm very excited about this. I hope you have a beautiful day. You can just kind of like sit here for a second and just be like centering into your heart. You've got this. I hope you move forward with so much love in your heart. And I hope you move forward knowing that you're not alone and continue to play, express, and experiment with your life. Examine those things that are ready to be examined because you are here to shine, show up in your fullest expression. It's so needed. And you know it, you know it, you know it. One more time, you know it. Or else you probably wouldn't be trying to shift things. But okay, I gotta go now. Toodaloo. That's how I'm ending my first YouTube video. Toodaloo.